yeah, this one came back on, but shoot. What expense though? Let's see. What's up? What's up? Let me know if y'all can hear me good. I'm gonna wait till. I'm gonna see if anybody comes back. Because if everybody's going for the day, then I'll I'll put it up another day. Anybody in here? Oh, you back, my guy? All right, bet. I appreciate it, man. I'll edit this video back later on, but the problem is like so. What I'm trying to do, pretty much, so y'all can understand this. What I'm trying to do, I wanna be able to take these clips from when we chop it up in here and be able to put it on Instagram. But when I was looking at the playback on the video, like on my side of the screen, it looks clear. But when I try to record it again, it looks trash. You know what I'm saying? Like when I try to save it off of my phone, or when I watch the playbacks and then chop it up and then put it on Instagram, like the footage is just terrible. So I got to find another. And like my sound is off. I see that. Like I'm talking, but y'all see my face move delayed. But on my side, it looks clear though. So I don't know. But I'm gonna fix it and then hopefully I could, upgrade. But I think I'm gonna get another webcam and then that should solve some of these issues. All right, bet. So let's finish this off. All right, so you got to have tunnel vision for your body. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times when you're working on a project, you got to be able to put your head down and not get too frustrated. And what happens is when you're in the in-between stage, just like if anybody's ever grown their hair out or grown your beard out, like it'll be patchy and your body will be patchy. And like you might be looking at yourself and say, okay, well, I'm not really seeing the progress, or I'm not really noticing any changes, but it has to happen like this. Like this is how it works. And so it's one of those things where you kind of just got to plant the seeds, water them, water them, water them. Don't worry about it, but keep watering them. And then one day it's like, boom, magnificent. So have the mental capacity to be like, you know what, I'm not going to trip right now. Like I know I might not look great. I'm decent. I got to improve a little bit more. You just stay humble, keep your head down, and keep on going. But just know that it's coming though, because especially with your body, like this is tangible. Your body is something that you can really like change. This isn't like change my lifestyle. I want to become rich. Like like that could happen. It might not happen. But like your physical body, like you can really get it together. So don't think that it's impossible. Like that. All right. Now you have to have progressive overload on different workout styles. And here's what I mean about that, right? Progressive overload is adding more weight as you're getting stronger, whatever. Now, I personally think that you should start high and figure out how much weight you can move off rip. Like, do a warm up. And if the warm up you could bang out 20, you got your joints moving, go ahead for the gusto. You know what I'm saying? And then work your way down from there. So if you're gonna, do something like cable flies or something like that, right? Let's say you're gonna do cable flies and you're gonna build your chest because you're not doing bench pressing anymore, because that the chest palate comes from doing exercises that, bring your range of motion like this, or from here up under, or even, incline presses are cool, but you don't necessarily need just a flat bench, because what's the point of just having just this part of your chest burning? You see what I'm saying? Like you might as well get it all moving as one palate. Even doing push-ups is better than just bench pressing, in my opinion. But let's say, for example, you're gonna incline bench today, right? And when you're doing your incline benching, you're feeling it, and it's you got your warm up in. You're like, okay, good, because you don't want to start off with no real heavy weight and then you f around and tear something, So you want to start off with a lighter weight, moderate, see how it feels, bang out 20. You say, okay, let's go ahead and start playing, right? So now you add the rack up. You put the rack on there, or you do your dumbbells. Go ahead, grab the 60s or whatever. Start playing with them, and see how many you can squeeze out first. You can squeeze out 10, 15, you need to go up. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead to the 70s. Like if you can squeeze out 10, 15 with the 70s, or that 10, 15 was a struggle 10, 15, then you say, okay, I'm gonna stay with the 70s, but I'm gonna do 10, 8s, 5s and work like that. But every time you come back in there, you don't have to necessarily progressive overload that day. You just have to each time get better. So the next time you come into the gym, you got to add more weight, because you have to keep on trying to replicate that feeling that those weights gave you from last time. So if they got you sore last time, you may not be sore by just doing the same thing this time. So now you got to come in the next time and do a little bit more, but the same exercise, or a little bit more reps, like a couple more reps, but the same exercise. You don't need to deviate too far. Like the exercise was good, the workout was good, but you just need to add a little bit more weight each time, or add more reps, or add more range of motion, or less breaks in between. Now, what I meant by when I said progressive overloads on different styles, sometimes we don't work our body the same way in order to achieve a physique like somebody who you appreciate, right? So let's pick somebody apart, for example. Okay, let's pick somebody apart. Let's say, who do y'all like? Who's a y'all give me some ideas of who's a good influencer who you guys like, and I'll kind of pick their body apart, and I'll kind of break down what you would need to do to kind of put that size on. Like who y'all like? Y'all like now Simeon Panda, that's a stretch. Like, don't give me that. That's too hard. Don't give me like that. Don't give me like Mike Rashid. I can kind of play with that a little bit. So let's say Mike Rashid for a second, right? Now, let's take into account he's in his 40s. He doesn't need to have huge legs. Like, he looks amazing, phenomenal, right? We don't know if he's on something. That's irrelevant, because you can still achieve that shape if you just got that type of body type anyway. So you don't need to necessarily be on something to get that look. You probably can still get that look regardless, right? So let's take that look for example. Big broad shoulders, big chest, triceps. His arms aren't too nasty to where it's like, dang, why he got so much arm, and they're overpowering the chest and the back. He's pretty proportionate up top. The lower body may be a little more slender, because he does things like exercising and boxing, right? So let's say for you want to have a similar look to that, right? It's to match your upper body a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And too much upper body, because he might be a little too big for somebody just going for that, right? So for you're gonna say, okay, he has a lean midsection. I'm gonna do for my midsection, I'm gonna do a lot of hanging leg raises and a lot of only body weight. I'm not gonna add a lot of weights to my abs. I see his frame, and I don't see him as the type of person that will add a lot of weights to his abs, because he still has a long, lean type of physique in the middle. It doesn't look like short and blocky. You know how some dudes, they got that blocky midsection where they use the ab machine, just like cranking them out all day long. That'll make your abs short and blocky, right? He don't really have that. He kind of has a longer torso, which make his abs leaner. So let's say hanging leg raises for your midsection, right? Maybe you did your hanging leg raises last time, but now you're going to come in, you're going to do your hanging leg raises with a little more weight. Now, we're not saying switch off and go do some whole ab exercise and another ab routine. You just stick to that what was working. You just add a little more weight to the hanging leg raises. Shoulders, right? We break his shoulders down. He got great massive shoulders. You want your shoulders to be massive, you're gonna have to work your shoulders multiple times per week in order to make them overpower the rest of your body. You want your shoulders to sit out like this once a week, ain't gonna be enough. You got to hit those shoulders at the top of the week and in the middle of the week as soon as they recover, so that you can have a bigger shoulder look, because it gives you that gives you that frame where it's here to here. And that's what we want. We want that triangle frame, so the shoulders are real wide. So you got to attack those shoulders, but you don't want to eat too much to where your stomach is getting big too. I do see that he squats. Everybody will, when I start talking about squatting, what'll happen is your body can respond differently than somebody else's to squats. Like, you may do squats. Like, if I squat, my butt only grows, and it's unnecessary for me. So I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, well, I need to squat more, because of my body's mechanics, right? It doesn't really, I don't feel it in my quads. I feel it all in my glutes. But you may squat and feel it all in your inner thighs. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody else may squat and feel it in their hamstrings more. So, I wouldn't say use that as an exercise, but if you like the shape of his legs, okay, well, you can squat a certain type of way and find whatever exercise makes you feel in your quads. So you're going to build your quads. Find whatever exercise makes you feel it in your hamstrings, and also, you want to lead with calves if you can, but, for the most part, find an exercise that beats those areas down so that you can have that type of symmetry. So instead of doing massive heavy squats, because massive heavy squats might make your midsection blocky, you can do a lot of lightweight squats and just do mad reps of lightweight squats, because it's still going to grow your quads. And so you can get the look by doing different exercises, because maybe you may not be able to do what he's doing to get his look, but you can do what you need to do to get his look in your way. You see what I'm saying? All right, so let me see. What's my next one? I got my other computer screen open. All right. Hopefully y'all understood that. Now, you also have to have the confidence to not feel guilty. And what I mean by having the confidence to not feel guilty is sometimes you don't want to, you don't necessarily need to do, let me see. Sometimes you'll do exercises that aren't so pretty and you'll neglect other things, and you have to realize that sometimes those non-pretty exercises, the ones that you may think, are like, this is mundane, are probably better for you to be doing anyway. You got to do the work that nobody wants to do in order to get that desired result. But what I mean by the confidence to not feel guilty, you have to know that, okay, I got to put certain exercises on the back burner, like my favorite ones. I got to stop doing that for a while, because what will happen is you'll be like, oh, well, I haven't done squats in a minute, so I know I've been sticking to this plan. Let me just deviate for a second and go do that. And you'll feel like you need to go, do something that you don't really need to be doing. And that deviates you from your overall plan. So if you can try to control yourself, not have too many emotions, and even like sometimes you can't work out with certain people because they'll be like, oh, well, you did your workout, earlier today. Just come do this workout with me. And now you kind of have to come do their workout, but it wasn't really for you because you got your own thing that you're sticking to. You see what I'm saying? So they'll kind of like guilt you into doing their style when you needed to only focus on your style. So you got to really take that into consideration. So don't feel guilty by saying, okay, I'm gonna put my head down, put my clothes on, not look at myself for a couple months, and then come out on top. The next thing is, let's see, what do I have next? Okay, think about how your body responds to certain foods and then make the adjustments, right? So a lot of us, we look at it like this. We say, I like eating certain stuff because it just makes me feel good. Or I like eating certain stuff because it tastes good. It's my favorite food, or whatever, right? If you really look back and think about it, like, that certain foods can affect your body. Like, you might drink soda and then later on notice that your face breaks out and you get pimples, right? You know that about yourself. You might be like, I eat chocolate, and every time I eat chocolate, I get diarrhea, but I still eat it anyway, right? Like, you get those things. So when you know that about yourself, you have to document that and then put it to the side, because those are things that are really important. If you know that the food that you're having is rejecting from your body by a visual thing, what do you think it's doing internally to you? You see what I'm saying? So like, you might be allergic to something that your body is trying to tell you, like, hey, every time you eat me, I give you diarrhea for a reason. Stop eating me. And so if you eating that stuff and you still doing it, it's not really effective for you. So stay away from it. You see what I'm saying? Like, stay away, at least in a time where you can actually grow, because it might hinder your growth. Like, it might not really give you the calories and stuff that you need, because your body's not using it. Like, sometimes, for example, some people like broccoli, and broccoli is a green vegetable, right? But a lot of people get bloated from broccoli. And so think about, that being the case. Like, you don't want to be having something that's getting you bloated. Okay, change over to asparagus or something. Change over to a different, vegetable that you can substitute that works better for your system. And when you find that, stay with it. And once when you have a meal plan for yourself, you want to stay with something for a long time anyway. Which leads me to my final point. You have to create a sustainable plan, and also, again, not work out with other people and not eat with other people too. And so if you kind of can make a plan for yourself and say, okay, I'm gonna do for myself. I'll give you an example, right? I know that I want to build a rounder look, and this is what I'm going for right now, right? I lost some weight because I was on those antibiotics, but I'm feeling good, and I'm about to put this weight back on. And when I put this weight back on, I'm gonna be a problem. Y'all gonna see. So when I come back out of retirement, I'm gonna be a problem. Like, I'm ready to go. So but the cool thing about it is that this time, as this lighter weight that I'm at, I can put on the mass in a prettier way, in a different way. And what I plan on doing for myself is I want to build a shape that has a rounder upper body. Like, I want my triceps to be a little rounder, on my delts to be round, on my chest to be a lot rounder, and I want to be more bloated up top. Like, I want to be more like ballooned. And what does that for me is if I do a lot of push-ups. But lately, I've been doing gym work, right? I've been in the gym instead and not really doing what I know works for me. And so I know that push-ups work for me because I can get up from a push-up and have a mean pump. I can go to the gym, work my chest, and I'll be like, oh, I'm sore, but it's okay. But if I do my push-ups and I get up, I look like a different man. And so my thing is, I need to be doing that 2 times a week. Same thing with my hamstrings. Like, I know my quads they're not trash, but they're not like, they don't get big and round like other people's quads, right? And so I get that about myself. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I don't have quads like so and so. No, I'm gonna work these hamstrings so that when I turn to the side, like the quads that I do have, the details there, but the hamstring is round too. So to look and work the other things that will grow. Maybe my inner grow, maybe my outer thighs grow. Like, those things, like my adductors and abductors, they still grow. My calves still grow. So because my quads won't really, move like I want them to, I got to give you the illusion of having, great legs still. And you'll be like, oh yeah, we got quads, but look at his hamstrings, look at his calves, look at this. And so I know that I want to work my hamstrings multiple times per week. And I have to start doing them as I got to start doing those exercises like you should too. If you know which exercise it is that you need, let's say your shoulders, and you need to do it twice a week, you got to work those things like chores. Like that got to be a chore workout. Like, how you might, like, how some people do cardio, and their cardio in the morning, they did their fasted cardio. It's like, I really didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. Like, let me just get it done before I leave the house. It has to be one of those things. Like, I got to drop down and do 200 push-ups in the morning before I start eating, and then get my day started. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I got to go into the gym on any day. Like, it might be my back day in the gym. I got to start off on hamstrings first. Even if I did my hamstrings before, if they're not sore, I got to hit my hamstrings just to beat them down so that they stay beat down. So that if I know that I want to have a look like somebody else who got some nasty hamstrings, I got to do mine more than that they would do theirs, or do mine more so that they grow faster. So the more you work it exponentially, it'll grow faster if you can see the results coming. Sometimes though, your body just doesn't respond to something. Like for me, my body don't respond to squats. It doesn't respond to leg extensions, leg presses, none of that stuff. Like I don't get nothing in my quads. Like I won't even be sore. I probably could squat as much as anybody y'all want me to, or leg press as much as anybody want me to, but I just can't see it. You know what I mean? Like I'm strong. What's the point? I ain't want to tear my knees up. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying. You can't show that on camera. I could leg press 5,000 pounds. What I'm gonna do with that? So my thing is like, I want to do something that gets my legs swollen. And so the things that do work for my quads is sissy squats. Who would have thought, right? Sissy squat. Like who does sissy squats anywhere? But I found something that worked for them. And once I did, you got to stick with it. So anyway, I hope y'all took something from that. Next week, I'm going to order that webcam tonight. I'm not playing no more. Like I'm about to have my webcam set because I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get my webcam. And hopefully, y'all like this. Javier, what's going on? Hey, you said you was late. You missed the whole first half when my camera went out, so we good. But I hope you guys learned something today. If you did, please feel free to comment and put what you learned or any questions that you do have. If there's any confusion about anything, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I like talking to you guys. I read some of these comments before that you guys were talking about with progressive overload and things like that, which caused me to want to kind of talk on that topic. Like I get it, but sometimes you got to kind of finesse it to make it work. You know what I'm saying? So don't always think that the way it is on paper is the way to do it. Sometimes there's multiple ways to skin a cat. Well, not skin a cat, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Let me go ahead and edit this thing so we can keep on watching. All right, I'll see y'all later.